the Torah scrolls.
Yeah, well, it takes it to
On
a whole
Shabbos
new.
morning,
It takes a whole new level
in front of the whole community.
Right, with 2 witnesses always makes it worse.
Yeah, particularly if they warn me
Or
first.
Parhesia with 10 witnesses is even much.
Yeah, yeah. So like public and private is a big deal.
Yeah. For instance, that says like there's certain things like you're not allowed to do even at gunpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
If someone threatens your life,
Right.
you're not allowed to have a homosexual act,
Right.
even at gunpoint. You're not allowed to have sex with somebody's wife.
Right.
You're not allowed to bow down to an idol. You know, there's another one I'm missing, but I can't think of what it is. You're not allowed to kill somebody.
Murder. Yeah.
Murder.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to break Shabbos. But here's something that people don't realize. You're not allowed to break Shabbos before Hesia.
What does that mean?
10 people.
Right, not allowed to do it in public.
You're not allowed to do that in public. You can never. You're not allowed to do that even at the threat of
your life.
Of your life. You're not allowed to do certain things, what is considered publicly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 stages. There's doing something in absolute privacy, which is just you and God, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the person let's say you're fornicating with.
Right.
Closed doors, right? That's between you and God.
And I mean, without the cam on and no video.
Right.
I don't put it on YouTube.
No, that would be Farhesia.
Yeah.
Then there's a second level, which is you have 2 witnesses who saw that you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's like already taking on the ramifications of, oh, you had 2 witnesses and they warned you, and now you can be responsible for what the Torah says about that. You can be punished for it. Then there's a whole new level when 10 people see, which would be the case of Zimri, because you went in the base Knesset, which is 10 people, right? That's public, real public, and did it. That's before Hesia takes it to like the whole new level, and those things you're never supposed to do. We're never supposed to do anything against the Torah that publicly.
Like driving on Shabbos. That's
on Shabbos.
That's just like you might as well wind down the windows, blast the rock music, and flip the bird.
Yeah, driving unless you drove like in your backyard or something, nobody saw you. But,
or you drove in like a Goyish area, like.
Oh, that's another thing.
Indiana.
Yeah, if you I don't know.
But even if they saw you were Jewish.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. But it has to be 10 Jews, right?
Yeah.
But if you picked up your car here, in Jewtown, right in the middle of Jew Finland, and just went for a spin on Saturday afternoon, 10 people are going to see you for sure.
Yeah.
And that's driving in public. And now you're not from.
Yeah.
Halachically, you're not from.
Yeah.
And halachically, we can't count you in a minion, and we can't give you a Sefer Torah reading. You're not from.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be counted in.
How important do you think is blood that, like, you're descended from? It's like yichus. You've heard of yichus.
Yichus,
like,
pedigree.
Yeah. How important?
Genetics, genetic pedigree.
Yeah. How important do you think that? Do you think there's great spiritual value in having great yichus?
There was I once had a Rosh Hashiva who said, there's a famous word actually. He said, I know people with tremendous yichus that they were. I know some ordinary people with tremendous yichus, and I know some tremendous people with ordinary yichus. What would you rather be, right? I'd rather be the tremendous person with the ordinary yichus. Make your own yichus.
Yeah.
Make your own yichus. It happens to be that I have yichus.
You're from David HaMelech.
No. I have my great-great-grandfather, I'm a Ben Acher Ben, which means I'm the direct patrilineal. Is that how you say it? My father's father's father, my great-great-grandfather, going up like that, was a big Rav in Lithuania.
What was his name?
He was Rabbi Reamer.
Rabbi Reamer!
And Rav Avram Reamer, and he had what's called Ruach HaKodesh. He could see into the future. And he warned everybody he saw in the future, and during the 1880s, he warned everybody that, World War I and World War II were coming. Long before they came. And, big deal. Right? What does that do for me today? Nothing, right? So I'd rather be the guy who makes his own yichus. I'd rather be the guy who converted and became a Jew on his own and went on to do great things.
Yeah.
Somebody with no yichus in the Jewish world, and then just did great things on his own.
Yeah. Does it bother you that only men inherit in the Jewish tradition? Like boys, the males?
That's not true.
We
learned from the 5 daughters.
Well, that was like an exception, because generally speaking, it's...
Generally speaking, right? Yeah, it makes sense, because you understand that the woman is going to be financed by either her family or by her husband. A woman is taken care of. That's part of like the kasuba. It's part of it's there's a contract involved. She's under her family takes care of her, and then she gets married, and her husband takes care of her. So she's not really entitled to anything, right? It's the guy who his job is to, like, bring home the money. So it makes sense that the money from the family goes to him, because he's the one who's going to have to be taking care of people. And by the way, if let's say there's a son and a daughter, I believe the halacha is like this. And the daughter's not married, the money goes to the son. The son still has to support the daughter. He has to support his sister. He's like now running the family business or whatever. It's his job. He has to take care of her.
Should we be looking for some spare skin that we could cut off girls at 8 days so that we could be more egalitarian? Like if you wanted to lop off some skin off an 8-day-old girl, where would you go? Where would you cut?
That's not a Torah concept.
But, I mean, boys have skin removed at 8 days. So
yeah, that's what makes boys
don't
special.
Don't we want to be egalitarian now and remove some skin from the girls at 8 days?
Now you sound like a Reformed Jew now. A Reformed Jew, it's like, they get offended by the fact that parts of Judaism are for males only. So they want to, like, let's make it, enough of this patriarchy crap, and let's bring women into the fold and make them rabbis and make women, give them parts of the, and then what they do is they pervert Judaism and they make it something that it's not, and it's just a bunch of crap, but it's,
egalitarian.
It's egalitarian.
And modern.
Yeah, but it's not Judaism. I mean, it's like, well, they can do whatever they want, but please don't call it Judaism. Judaism is Torah is very sexist. It has there's certain things that are for women and there's certain things that are for men. And that's just the way it is. And if people have a problem with that, and they believe that equality and it should be, and they want to permeate that and invade Torah, invade Judaism with it, then the bigger God for them is the God of anti-sexism. Okay, that's what they serve, and then that's fine. That's a form of idolatry, just like any other idolatry, and it's more important to them to worship liberalism and to worship egalitarianism than it is Judaism. So please don't call yourself a follower of Judaism. You're a Jew who follows egalitarianism.
What do you do when you get this overwhelming urge to daven with black Christians? What do you do?
I have never had that urge. I don't relate to it. I don't get it.
You don't yearn to daven with Christians.
No, it does not.
Building, worshiping the same God.
No, it doesn't soothe my soul or do anything for me because I voted for a black guy. I mean, that's just ridiculous to me. That's not tikkun olam. That's just stupid. Why is that so funny?
I just love it. I think it's funny the opposite. I just got to pray with black Christians.
I never.
It's like people who aren't rooted to who they really are, to their own tradition.
They're embarrassed by Judaism. They're embarrassed by Judaism.
Attached themselves to
they're embarrassed by Judaism the way it is. They're not comfortable with Torah, so they create like their own religion, and their religion is like they take like something from Judaism, which is like tikkun olam, and we're gonna instead of like learning Torah and doing the mitzvahs as they're written, we're gonna do like our own big mitzvah. And the big mitzvah is to have sex with a black guy. Oh, we can liberate the black guy. And
reparations.
It's like, oh, we feel so guilty because we're white, and look at the poor black guy, and I'm like, idiot. Slavery was done.
Yeah, 150 years ago.
My family was still living in Europe.
Yeah.
Dumbass. My family's still living in Europe, right, when all this was going down here. It was done going down before we even came over here. We owe shit nobody.
My secular Jewish girlfriend, my last girlfriend, told me, I wish you were a felon rather than an Orthodox Jew. Said I'd have much easier time dealing with it. You're a convicted felon than
because chicks like the bad guy.
Than a Republican and an Orthodox.
Yeah, here's another thing I don't understand. Someone can explain this to me. Why are almost all Jews who are secular, why do they all align themselves with the Democratic Party and they Republican, boo, boo, anti-Jewish and all this stuff? And I'm perplexed by it because I look at these candidates and I look at all the platforms and everything that they stand for. And I'm not I don't belong to any. I'm nonpartisan.
Right.
I'm never going to belong to a